All right. Hey, everybody. This is episode 2 of the Fly on the Ropes podcast. I'm Bod Turner.
Hey, y'all. Debbie Western here.
Tonight, we're going to talk about WWE Survivor Series 2017.
But first, a shout out to our sponsor, Doggy Coffee. Put some pep in your pup. Get yourself some Doggy Coffee.
Indeed. Get yourself some Doggy Coffee. Now, I want to talk about the AJ Styles versus Brock Lesnar match.
Yes. Okay.
It was a little tough.
Bod knows how I feel about Brock.
Yeah, Debbie's not a big fan of Brock Lesnar. I think because in typical Brock Lesnar match fashion, he threw him around the ring. He threw AJ Styles around the ring, threw him over the ropes. He just flattens a guy for a while. But eventually Styles got the comeback.
Yes, he does. I mean, he definitely threw him around like a rag doll, and then that gives AJ Styles the opportunity to look strong and kind of bring himself back. But honestly, and you know, we keep it positive here on Fly on the Ropes. But one thing is that I pretty much knew that's how it was going to go down. Yeah,
and she was right. So that happened for a while, a big beatdown. Brock Lesnar threw him around the ring. AJ got the comeback. He's got some good moves, and he's so good, though.
He's so great. He puts on a great match, and he can look really strong, and then he can also, you know, he can ragdoll and sell very well as well.
He can. So. It's always entertaining, and to have a good match with Brock, you have to know what you're doing. And
Gainesville, Georgia is a beautiful town.
Yeah.
Go AJ.
All right. So yeah. So it ended with the typical Brock Lesnar winning. Right?
Yes, and the gloating of Paul Heyman.
The gloating of Paul, which we love that. Maybe not all of us, but I do. So it was a good one. It was a good match. Then we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on now to the Survivor Series main event. So this is a traditional 5-on-5 Survivor Series match between Team Raw, and Team SmackDown. Team Raw was headed by Kurt Angle. He was the captain. Team SmackDown by Shane McMahon.
Yes.
So in this kind of a match, it's traditional 5-on-5 Survivor Series. It's been going on since the late 80s for you people who don't know.
Thanksgiving tradition.
They used to have it on Thanksgiving?
Yes.
Actually, that'd be kind of fun. Do you think they could do it on Thanksgiving again?
I think they could again, but they would not get near the audience that they're used to. But the same sort of story unfolds each time. You have these two teams that have some beef between each other for the last couple weeks, and they come at each other. And so it was in that regard, it was very typical. It was the ending that threw some of us off.
All right, well, let's see if we can recap that a little bit. On the SmackDown team, the first two eliminated were Bobby Roode and Shinsuke Nakamura, not in that order. And then for the Raw team, I believe Samoa Joe got knocked out by John Cena. John Cena got knocked out by Finn Balor, who in turn got knocked out by Randy Orton. So what it ended up, and then Randy Orton was eliminated somehow. So anyway, it ended up being Shane against everybody. Pretty much.
Right. Correct. So you had Triple H left over with Kurt Angle and Braun Strowman, the Monster Among Men. Let's not forget about him.
You can't forget about him. So, he's literally an elephant in the room.
Right. When Kurt Angle had the opportunity to take out Shane McMahon, then at that point you have Triple H kind of step in and make sure that doesn't happen. He pedigrees Kurt Angle, correct? Right. And then instead of allowing Braun Strowman, the bottom line is, I mean, this is my bottom line. Triple H wanted to beat Shane O'Mac. Okay, he wanted to be the one to do it. He wanted to deliver some punishment for his wife Stephanie, and that is what he did. But he angered the monster among men at the end there. So it wasn't exactly clean for Triple H. He also got his bell rung a little bit by the monster.
Right. Yeah, Triple H ended up getting beat up by Braun Strowman, and his music played. And then he did it again.
Yes.
His music played again. That's always fun.
Yes.
He keeps going back to it. So, it was fun. It was a little confusing.
A little bit, but it's a build-up. We're obviously starting a new story.
We're starting a new story. We'll see where it goes from here. Right. It was a bit strange that the old-timers were left at the end, and there really wasn't the young talent that they seem to be.
Well, I believe that there are other people on the internet that will talk exactly about
right,
that.
and this show is about positivity.
We're staying positive.
Folks. We're not the internet wrestling community. We are just an internet wrestling podcast.
Yes, we are fans. Parentheses 5-man booth. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, we don't need to get into that.
We don't need to. But.
All right, so if you had to pick one, and you do, because that's what we do here on Fly on the Ropes, who was your wrestler of the night for WWE Survivor Series?
Well, I'm going to go with AJ Styles because he took what could have been a completely predictable and, quite frankly, not an entertaining match, and he made it so. And he did it well. Brock was going to win. I knew that, but he didn't look weak walking away from that match. Go AJ.
He didn't. He always looks good. And I'm going to go a little bit different. I'm gonna go with Triple H for the wrestler of the night. He's getting older. He's not always in the scene, but he comes down there. He gets himself into a match for, there's political reasons behind it or whatever. But it's always entertaining. He's laughing at certain points during the match. He's hitting all his spots. Like, you can't help but watch what this guy does. And he's still got it, as the crowd didn't chant, but does sometimes for other people. I was chanting it to myself.
Absolutely.
Just, very quietly.
Shout out to you, Triple H. You still got it.
He's still got it. And that's going to do it for episode 2 of the Fly on the Ropes podcast. I'm Bob Turner.
And this is Debbie Western.
All right. Remember to always keep it kayfabe, and thank you for watching.